Good day. Today we are joined by Rachael Birch, and we are going to talk about the coaching course, the program that we are running. And I'm going to take a few minutes to give it over to Rachael so she can tell us a little bit about herself and what got her into coaching.
Hi. So I'm Rachael. I'm over in the UK, kind of northwest of England. So I currently work as a personal trainer. So I am a personal trainer and I teach a lot of classes. I've done that for about 6 years now. I think it is 6, 7, something like that. And I've loved it. It's been really great. I work for David Lloyd's at the minute. And then I've done like little bits around that as well. So yeah, it's been great. But I just kind of found a lot of the time that a lot of clients were coming to me and they weren't really like, we would do kind of one exercise in an hour. Like they were just kind of using the time more to kind of sound off or ask me for help on something or just kind of get things off their chest to me. And so I found that I was actually getting more out of that myself as well. They would kind of walk away from every session, you know, thanking me, and I'd be like, "You sure? Like, we've not really done a lot." And they'd be like, "No, that was what I needed." So kind of that feeling and that, that kind of sense of being able to help someone in that way, like kind of more down the mental side rather than the physical side. It was lovely to see them enjoy that, but it felt great for me too. So found this and thought I'd kind of change path.
And it's interesting how it actually correlates your physical well-being with your mental well-being, how that incorporates. And I know you are still busy with the course. You've not certified yet,
No.
but what is it what attracted you to Coaching Minds, to do the program of Coaching Minds?
So Coaching Minds, I went to school with Paul. So for a year or two, we were actually in school together. And we still kind of had each other on social media and stuff. And just one day out of the blue, I think it was about a year ago now, I was kind of in the place where I was starting to think about what else I could do. Maybe I don't know if personal training is going to be me forever. And Paul kind of popped up out of the blue and sent me a message just to check in and see how I was. And we had like a bit of a catch up. And then I just kind of like asked, what is it you're actually doing now? Because I'd seen a lot of his posts and things. And he sort of started to explain to me what it was he was doing. And it was just like a light bulb went off. Like, it was like, that's what I've been looking for. That's what I need. So I had done like a certification before, but nothing accredited. So when I kind of explained this to him, he explained that to me. And yeah, I mean, he sort of, explained how the program worked and everything. And it just sounded perfect. So he better to do that with the school friends.
It's that divine timing that I call. It just came at the right time that you reconnected, and that is what the industry that you wanted to go into, that you wanted to learn more. Although you've done that certification course, he explained how the importance of accreditation and the difference between that. And it's something that we often overlook. You think certified, but you never think accredited, or that there is a difference. What is your experience that you've experienced so far with the accreditation program?
Yeah, it's been great. Like, I think for me personally, I knew my first challenge, because obviously explained about kind of the app and the hub and everything. And for me, like technology wise and apps and stuff like that, is just absolutely not my strong point. So I think when he first kind of explained it, I did kind of have that little bit of like, oh God. But it's been so easy to kind of navigate through and find what I need to find, and even the people I need to find, like the hub and the people and the network. It's just been so good. you've got kind of like the supervisors there to help guide you through. So if you've got any questions whatsoever, literally just stick it on the hub or send an email, and you've always had that question answered like within 24 hours, even if it's like I say, from a supervisor or from just anyone in the network. Like, everyone's so helpful and just wants to see each other succeed, and it's so nice to kind of be a part of that. So it's been really easy to navigate. The course has been really enjoyable. I've like loved every single part of it. Even working through the modules, the seminars, the practices, like all of it. It's been really, really good.
And I'm interested to learn a little bit more about what did you find learning wise in the program that you have not known before?
There's a couple of things really. I think one was, I kind of always classed myself as like a good listener. And then obviously there's part of one of the modules and it goes into deep listening. And I was like, oh, like I'm probably a good listener, but I'm not a great listener. So like even like little things like that it kind of teaches you to develop you. I really kind of enjoyed that part of that, like getting further into that, and just kind of, it helps you develop as a person, which is really lovely. And I think the other main thing I've learned is, obviously, in the past where clients have come to me, it's been completely different because they've come to me for advice. And that's one thing that you don't do as a coach, you don't give advice. So it's actually been like a really nice learning curve to see that how much you can help someone without giving advice, and like by actually doing what we do as coaches rather than just saying, oh, well, I would do this, I would do that kind of mentality. So that's actually been quite a big thing for me, I think, to learn, in that you can help people in so many ways rather than just the advice kind of way.
That is so key that you mentioned that, because often people think life coaches just sit there and give you advice. Mm-hmm. And it's actually for them to open that up to you with those questions, the deep questions that you ask as a coach, for that person to go inward and come up with their own answers. And I think that is, from all our coaches, one of the key learning points is not to give advice. You've briefly touched on the support from the supervisors, the support from other coaches. How are you finding that support? I know it says we normally answer within 24 hours, but outside of just asking your question in the hub, what other type of support do you get through the seminars, the workshops, the coaching trials that we've got? How do you experience that type of support?
Again, it's been great, to be honest. Obviously, the seminars, it gives you that chance, because I must admit, the first seminar I went to, I kind of thought it would be like a speech in a way. But then you actually turned up to it and it was like a completely open chat. And obviously, I think yourself and Paul were leading the kind of discussion and what we needed to know about and what we needed to learn. But it was completely open with myself and the other coaches that were in the seminar. So you've kind of got that. It's always like that kind of, I can't think of the expression I'm looking for, but it's that kind of open door policy. I don't think that's the expression I mean, but it's that kind of open door where you kind of feel like you can just express things. And I think I've always been made to feel like there's no wrong answer. Like, I mean, there technically is, but it doesn't make you feel that way. It makes you feel like, okay, I see why you're saying that, I see why you think that, but actually try looking at it this way instead. And then it doesn't ever kind of give you that impression of, if you know, like when you're in school and you got an answer wrong and you felt a bit silly. Like, I've never kind of felt that way with this. You just kind of get a different perspective almost. So like in the seminars, you've got all of that. In, again, meeting with the other coaches, even again a different perspective and a different kind of support. And again, the other coaches I've spoke to, it's always been that they just kind of want to see you succeed, and they're there to help each other. So yeah, so that's been great. And I can't remember what else you asked about.
No, that's fine. You're touching on that different perspective, which is important, and not feeling like you are wrong, like you're one of the group, that you bring your own wisdom and your own perspective to the table, and it is taken aboard, and you never feel like, but you know what, I'm wrong. And I like the way that you used, I'm trying to remember the words now that you've used, the open door policy. That there's always someone that you can reach out to, that you can have that discussion with, and the feedback that is given to you on your submissions that you get. There's always the constructive side, but there's always the praise that is being brought out for you, what you've done well, what you've done good, and that you can also build on. So it is that workingness, that collaboration between everyone, that is actually, at the end of the day, through the program, it brings you the better person forward, the better coach that you can be in that development. And that for me is also a key point. And my next question to you is, what is your key learning from the program this far?
Again, yeah, I think it has like obviously taught me a lot. It has the kind of, like I touched on before, about like learning how to be a better listener, learning how other ways to help people without just feeding them advice. But I think that basically all comes kind of under the umbrella of just general personal growth. I think that's what you really learn from this course. It's obviously there's tools and there's modules that you go through, but I think a lot of the main learning actually comes from you, and like how you can grow and how you can help someone else by kind of letting things shine in yourself that maybe you didn't remember or even know were there. So like things like, even with like imposter syndrome, there's even like a section on imposter syndrome where you can really get into that. And again, that was like another light bulb moment for me, because I've had those feelings that come under imposter syndrome, but I didn't know what that was. So even like trying to figure out what that is and learning from that, it kind of, yeah, it helps you grow to be able to help other people grow. So I think, yeah, it's just the whole process.
Yeah, you've brought in the additional things and the modules that covers the different things, from the deep listening to the imposter syndrome, and all the tools that is covered in the course that will add to you as being a better coach, because those tools there is so many. I think there's maybe over 100. I don't know. There is so many tools and we keep on adding tools as Paul and myself get tools together. We keep on adding them to the course. And the point on that is also that you have access to those tools for as long as you are a coach. It's not that in the course you have to use it, you have to learn it. There's always that accessibility for you to continue to go and learn more or use a new tool, and that continuous professional development is there for you within the Coaching Minds. My next question that I briefly want to discuss with you is, for future inspiring coaches, would you recommend the Coaching Minds program?
100%. 100%. Yeah, I would definitely recommend this program. You're gonna have everything you need and more, all in one place. So yeah, and the, like you just touched on, the continuous stuff as well, even after you've sort of gained the accreditation, and the ongoing support that you get. Like, yeah, 100%.
Thank you for that. Also, Rachael, I know you are a personal trainer. You are bringing coaching in. What is your future plans with your coaching journey?
So at the minute, I've kind of got like a few different plans. It's kind of still homing in on which ones to run with. But I definitely want to kind of bring the two together. So the mental side and the physical side. So obviously then you've got the whole person. So there's different ways I've been looking at doing that. One way is a friend of mine has actually got kind of a space that she's developing at the moment. Her and another one of her colleagues are actually counsellors. So they were actually looking for a coach to come on board. So they've got that kind of different aspect and different kind of way of helping people all under one roof. And the fact that I'm a personal trainer as well, we've got kind of essentially like a holistic hub going on. So we've got the counsellors. I've also kind of recently qualified in Reiki as a Reiki instructor, if you like. So we've got a kind of hub there where we can touch on loads of different, the mental, the physical, and the spiritual side of people. So that's definitely something we're looking at. But then I think long term, I'd probably quite like to be very much freelance, kind of me, a laptop and a beach somewhere, traveling the world.
I like your future, especially now that you say that hub that you can build, that all aspects is covered, but your long-term goal that you want to work towards is travel, but still help people. And at the essence, I can see that helping of others is one of your key attributes that you want to do, is make that difference in the world. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of your journey and see where you take your coaching. It sounds very interesting and very exciting, to put it that way. But Rachael, I just want to thank you for being here today, for answering my questions and telling us a little bit more about yourself and where you are going to. So thank you for joining us today.
No, thank you for having me.